Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapatme Ayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhur. Om Vangme Manasi Pratishtita Mano Mevachi Pratishtitam Aviravir Vedasya Mahani Istaha Srutam Me Ma Prahasi Anena Dhite Na Ahoratram Sandadhami Rutam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Sanmamavatu Sadbhaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Bhaktara Mavatu Bhaktaram. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. There are three major or main yoga traditions or meditation traditions in India. The first one is the Vedantic tradition of yoga, then the Patanjala, and third one is the Tantric or the Shakta type of meditation or yoga. The Patanjala tradition gradually became defunct. It ceased to be in vogue after the 16th century, owing to two reasons. One is the dominance of Vedanta, and secondly, it is owing to the lack of Guru Parampara. So gradually the Patanjala yoga tradition came to be not in vogue. It came to be replaced by the Tantric tradition, especially in Bengal. So Bengal produced many Tantric adepts. They developed these meditation techniques, especially the japa, nama japa tradition. Great adepts like Krishnananda Agam Vagish, they developed this Tantric, the yoga tradition in Bengal. When we observe the mind, we notice two things. One is the source of knowledge is within us. That is, from childhood, we say, I know this, I know that, I know him, I know her. The objects may vary, but I know part is the same. It continues unchanged from childhood onwards. That shows the knowing process or the knowledge itself is within us. So from very ancient times, our Indian sages tried to understand this knowing process, because they knew once they understood this knowing process, they could easily understand the outer objects. The knowledge, they could easily gain knowledge of the outer objects. Whereas in ancient Greece, From the beginning, they sought the ultimate truth in the external world. Nobody ever inquired, as the rishis did in India, how to know the knower. Vijñātāram kena vijñāniyāt. This question never was asked in ancient Greece. It was with great difficulty that Anaximenes, a thinker by name Anaximenes, introduced the idea of mind. Mind also must be included in reality, in any consideration of ultimate reality. The mind also should be included. They did not even consider the mind to be a part of the ultimate reality. Thales, he said, water was the ultimate reality. Then Heraclitus, he said, fire. Like that, different people suggested different things. And finally, Democritus, he propounded the view that the ultimate reality consists of several elements, and he propounded the atomic theory, and these elements cannot be divided further. So Prithvi, Ap, Tejo, Vayu, Akasha, according to some Western scholars, Kannada, in India, the atomic theory was propounded first by Kannada. So according to some Western scholars, Kannada borrowed these ideas from Democritus, among the Greek philosophers. That I don't know whether it is true or not. Anyway, we too have an atomic theory in India. So the first thing we notice about our mind is that the knowledge is within us. The knowing process is within us. So that was the first thing observed in India, and we can also observe that. I know this, I know that. So the knowing process is within us. That's the first thing we notice regarding our mind. The second thing we notice in our mind is the continuous unending stream of thoughts. Our minds are constantly engaged in producing thoughts. It is not due to any fault of ours. It is rise of thoughts is automatic. This was also discovered in ancient India. There was one great thinker and sadhak by name Panchashikha. Panchashikha is supposed to be a disciple of the disciple of Kapil Muni. Swamiji says Kapil Muni was the founder of psychology in India. The science of the mind. It was Kapila who discovered, according to Swamiji. Kapila's disciple was Asuris. Asuris' disciple was Panchashikha Acharya. Panchashikha wrote, it is said, he wrote a book called Shashti Tantra. Shashti Tantra means either 60 chapters or 60 principles. The book has not been so far not found, but Vyasa, when he wrote the Bhashya on Yoga Sutra, at that time Panchashika's Shakti Tantra was perhaps still in vogue, or parts of it are still available. So 8 sutras from Shakti Tantra Vyasa has incorporated in his Bhashya on the Yoga Sutra. These these Panchashika Sutras were later on published, translated into Bengali and published by Hariharananda Aranya from Kapil Math. He established most of his life was spent in Uttar Bharat. He lived in a cave for many years and he did intense tapas. And when he was in the north, he got initiated into sannyas and got the name Hariharananda Aranya. So he established a mutt in Madhupur. It is next railway station, next to our Jamtada ashram. We have got an ashram in Jamtada. The next railway station in Bihar, this side Bihar, it is on the border. This side Jamtada, that side Madhupur. So in Madhupur, he established Kapil Math and he created a cave, an artificial cave. He lived in that cave 30 years. They were with outside people. The only communication was through a kind of big hole. Through that, food used to be given to him and the people used to talk to him. Anyway, that Panchashika we were telling, Panchashika's one verse that is quoted by our Hariharananda Aranya, quoted by Vyasa in his commentary, and that has been translated into Bengali by Aranya. That says, Pratikshana Parinamino hi sarve bhavaha rite chiti shakte. Sarve bhavaha. Bhava is a Buddhist term which means anything that exists. They call it bhava, bhusataya. That exists is whatever exists is known as bhava. So sarve bhava rite chiti shakte. Chiti shakte. Chiti. Chiti means the Purusha. Shakte, that is Sati Saptami. Then Rite, except when Rita is used in the sense of except, then Chiti Shakti, except Purusha, everything, every object in the universe is constantly undergoing change. The mind also one of the objects, bhava, and that constantly undergoing change. In the case of the mind, the undergoing change means constantly breaking into vrittis. So mind constantly breaks into vrittis. It is a natural habit or tendency of the mind, breaking into vrittis. So these are the two things you observe. So thoughts are constantly rising in our mind. So then another point we would like to mention here, Vyasa in his introduction to his own commentary, Bhashya on Yoga Sutra. Before proceeding further, I would like to just explain the terms, some of the terms which are used in referring to the commentaries on Yoga Sutra. The terms are frequently used, but very often their meanings are not clear to all. Bhashya, Shankara Bhashya, there are three famous Bhashyas. One is Shankara's Brahmasutra Bhashya and Patanjali's Mahabhashya on Patanjali on the Panini Sutras. The third one is Shabara Bhashya on Jaimini Sutras, Purva Mimamsa. These are the three great Bhashyas. Our Vyasa also has written a Bhashya on Yoga Sutra. What is a Bhashya? A Bhashya is not merely an explanation of a sutra, of sutras. Generally, all our Hindu scriptures, they all have their origin in sutras. Upon the sutra, somebody wrote the Bhashya. A Bhashya is not merely an explanation of the sutras. That mere explanation of a sutra of sutras is known as vritti. Vritti, Bhoja Vritti, the most famous is Bhoja Vritti. Bhoja lived in the 11th century. The Bhoja Vritti is a wonderful vritti on the Yoga Sutra. Bhoja is the only man who had the courage to oppose or to reject Vyasa's comments. So Vyasa Bhashya. Bhashya is not merely an explanation of the sutras. That is called vritti, explanation of the sutras. Bhashya is the exposition of a philosophy using the sutras merely as a base. So Shankara's Brahmasutra Bhashya, the Brahmasutras only serves as a kind of base. It is his own exposition of his philosophy, Advaita. So similarly, Ramanuja, Madhva, they all used Brahmasutras to expound their own philosophies. So that is Bhashya. In Bhashyas, they use very often difficult terms. So to elucidate those difficult terms, somebody or other wrote the commentaries. These annotations. These annotations or notes are on the Bhashya are known as tikas. A tika is written to elucidate or clarify certain points in the Bhashya. So Bhashya, upon that comes the tika, and directly on the sutra they appear the vrittis. Then there is what is called Vivarana. Vivarana is the Bhashya is further expanded. Bhashya itself is the exposition of a philosophy. It itself is sufficiently elaborate, but still further expansion of the Bhashya is known as Vivarana. The most famous Bhashya Vivarana is this. The Panchapada, no, Panchapada wrote the Panchapadika. Upon that, no, the Bhashya, the famous Vivarana is our Vachaspati Mishra. That is, no, this Brihadaranyaka Upanishad Vartika Vivarana. Vivarana Vartika or Vivarana. So that is what. So Vivarana is not there in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Yoga Bhashyas, Tikas, and also Vrittis. Generally, Vyasa Bhashya is followed by all, because there are, in spite of the book, whatever the popular understanding, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras contain lot of gaps. If you study Patanjali Yoga Sutra, you will find that is not much of continuity. It is Vyasa who has provided the connecting links wherever lacking. There are several places where Vyasa Bhashya, that Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, they are discontinuous. Vyasa supplies the connecting links. For instance, in the Patanjali says that Kriya Yoga, through Kriya Yoga, in the second chapter, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras are divided into 4 parts, 4 padas. They are called padas, just like a cow has got 4 feet, so also 4 padas. The first is Samadhi pada, that is meant for Uttama Adhikarians, according to the commentators. For the Madhyama Adhikarians, the second chapter, known as Sadhana Pada, and that Sadhana Pada itself is divided into 3 parts. First part is called Kriya Yoga, that is meant for the Madhyama Adhikarians. Then comes what is called the Yoga, the Dukkha Chaturvyuha, that is 4 concepts. Dukkha Chaturvyuha. According to some Western scholars, this was kind of interpolation, and actually it doesn't fit in there. So in the third section of the second chapter is what is known as Ashtanga Yoga. So it is wrong to identify Patanjali's Yoga Sutra is Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga forms only 1/3 section of the second chapter of Patanjali Yoga. But anyway, it is popularly identified Ashtanga Yoga, according to modern scholars, existed even before Patanjali. Patanjali Sutras, another point to be noted is it contains a lot of similarity because borrowings from Buddhist sources. So there is a lot of similarity between Patanjali's Sutras ideas and Buddhist concepts. For instance, Buddhist Nirvana is very much similar to Patanjali's idea also of Asampragnata Yoga. Asampragnata Yoga is often mistaken to be like Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, Nirvikalpa Samadhi. They are based on totally different presuppositions. So anyway, that Patanjali and Vyasa in his introduction to his Bhashya, he says, the mind exists in 5 states, 5 bhumis. But Triptam, Mudham, Vikshiptam, Ekagram, and Niruddham. That connection. So Vyasa makes a surprising statement. He says, what is Triptam? Triptam is restless mind. So many vrittis rise and come and go. Our Geraldine Foster, she translated Patanjali's yoga. She was a famous psychologist, Western psychologist, Geraldine Foster. She, while translating Yoga Sutra, she compares Triptam to butterfly mind. A butterfly, you can see, it never sits in one flower for long. One flower for 1 second, and then it flies to another. So she calls Triptam the butterfly mind. So restless mind, the state of the mind. Then Mudham. Mudham is the mind does not move at all, and it remains still. Kim kartavya vimota avastha. We don't know what to do. So this very often happens in the practice of meditation. Sometimes the mind doesn't move at all, doesn't progress. There's no interest in meditation, japa, or anything, as if the mind has become still. This is called mudham. This is generally caused by different conflicts in the mind, unconscious conflicts. It may also be produced by lack of sleep, then tandra. Because of tandra also, the mind may become dull. So this is the dull state. So the restless, dull, and vikshiptam. Vikshiptam is visheshena kshiptam. Most of our ordinary activities belong to this category. Vikshiptam. We are to do different types of duties. Suppose you are doing accounts. So the mind gets absorbed in accounts. So in accounts, there are so many things, so many thoughts come. You have to tally this account, that amount, so many things you have to tally and all that. So that is not completely restless mind. The mind is a certain amount of discipline is there, but so many different thoughts come. So this is called vikshiptam. And then Patanjali, surprisingly, and Vyasa, in his commentary, after stating these 5 states, he says Samadhi is common to all the 5 states. Samadhi is possible in all these 5 states. So that is something puzzling. Because if in the Vikshipta state itself, in the Kshiptam and Mudha state, one can get Samadhi, then everyone should get Samadhi. But then Patanjali's Vyasa says, and the next sentence, but the Kshiptam, the first three, Kshiptam, Mudham and Vikshiptam, these three states, na yoga pakshe vartate, is not suitable for yoga. That is not good, right for practice of yoga. Yoga means sampragnata and asampragnata yoga. Dhāraṇā Dhyāna says your yoga means kaivalya, attainment of kaivalya. Anyway, so Vyasa, why did Vyasa say that Samadhi is samana, common, sadharana dharma for all the first three? How can Samadhi be attained in Kshipta, Mudha and Vikshipta states? So for that, we must come to understand the Dhyana, Dhāraṇā, Dhyāna and Samadhi. Patanjali's definitions of these three, if we understand, things will be clear. So, the first of all, Dhāraṇā, Dhyāna, Samadhi. Concentration, mental concentration consists of three stages. These are the three stages, Dhāraṇā, Dhyāna and Samadhi. What is Dhāraṇā? In Dharana is the attempt to inwardize the mind. The mind general tendency is to go outward. We are constantly seeing things outside. So the normal tendency of the mind is to go outward. Kathopanishad says, Paranji khani vetradant swayambhu tasa tasmat parang pashyati na antaratman. The swayambhu, that is Ishwar, God, as if he had struck the Indriyas and made them turn outward, as if he had turned the mind, tasmat parang pashyati. Therefore, the Indriyas, because the Indriyas are turned outward by God Himself, therefore, the Indriyas see only external objects, not Antaratma. That is what Kathopanishad says. So now, to turn this mind inward towards the Atman. So why we turn the mind inwards towards the Atman? Why? Because our goal is to realize the Paramatman or Brahman, the ultimate reality. So there, the Atma and the Paramatma, both of them meet in the heart. Heart is the center where both Atma and Paramatma meet. So Antaratma, so the Parang, the Anta, and the Pratik Pashya, Pratik Pravanata, the tendency of the mind to go inward. For that, Dharana is the attempt to turn the mind inward. And there, the concentration is deficient, owing to deficiency of concentration. In Dharana, the mind doesn't get completely focused. This focusing of the mind, that also must be told at the beginning. The mind or the meditation or dhyan, then there can be divided into two main groups: the subjective meditations and objective meditations. The subjective meditations mostly followed in the Advaita tradition. We will come to that later. Now we come to the objective meditations. In the objective meditations, there are Vedantic and Patanjala traditions. In objective meditation, the mind is focused on an object, an inner inside object. That is what is called dhyana or meditation. So dharana is the kind focusing in which the focusing is not continuous with breaks. Concentration is not fully established. So that is dharana. Patanjali defines dharana as deshabandha chittasya dharana. Deshabandha chittasya dharana. Deshe bandha deshabandha. Chittasya deshe bandha. To fix the chittasya, they fix the mind. Bandha, to fix the mind on different parts of the body, different places. Generally, outside also one can do dharana, but generally dharana is done in the different chakras. Different chakras are there. One can do dharana outside also. Swami Vivekananda, in his boyhood, used to practice dharana on a dot on the white wall. He put on black dot and then used to concentrate. Those who learn hypnoticism, they also do similar thing. It is easier to concentrate the mind on an external object. Swamiji said that by concentrating on that black dot, you could attain even Samadhi later on. So anyway, dharana is generally done on the chitta and the different chakras on the body. So there, deshe bandha, chittasya dharana. And then what is? Then we come to dhyana. Dharana, dhyana and samadhi. So dhyana, what is dhyana? Dhyana, the popular definition given by Acharya Shankaracharya says, Sajatiya vritti pravaha. Upasana is Sajatiya vritti pravaha. So that pravaha is important. Sajatiya. So in our mind, there are two kinds of vrittis. Sajatiya vritti and Vijatiya vritti. Generally, if you observe the mind, so many thoughts come. The thoughts are not uniform. That is, these different thoughts come. There is famous book by R.K. Narayan, the Swami and his friends. One book is there. So there is one particular section, one point. The Swami is a small boy. Examination came. So he wanted to pray to God for success in the examination. So he prays to God. That prayer is there. If you see the prayer, you will find most of the people have the prayer of the people will be similar. That is, one thought comes and then another. He prays to God first for examination result. The mind goes somewhere else. So James Joyce, I don't know how many of the people have read that book, at least just to know this. I heard about that. So in the college, I just went through that book. James Joyce, his famous book that is known as Stream of Consciousness books are based on that. Several other books also were written. That is, if you study our mind, you will find the mind does not have the same vritti. Different vrittis rise and fall. This state of mind is known as sarvarthata or vikshipta state, distraction, distracted mind. Such a mind is distracted. That is, sometimes just now you want the person, one Ram Chatterjee, his memory comes to the mind. Next moment, another man's picture appears. Then a cow, then a dog. Like that, various pictures appear in our mind. Such a mind is called vikshipta or sarvartha. That is distracted mind. When the same vritti, same object appears, that means the same vritti rises and falls. In the beginning, I quoted one passage from Panchashikha, that is, pratikshana parinamino hi sarve bhava krite chiti shakti, except chiti shakti, that is Purusha. Pratikshana parinamino sarve bhava, or the mind, sarve bhava, everything in the universe constantly undergoes change. Pratikshana, every second, pratikshana parinamino. In the case of mind also, constantly undergoes change. In the case of mind, constantly breaks into vrittis. So, when the mind in a distracted condition, vikshipta chitta, sarvarthata, at that time, different pictures, different vrittis follow different vrittis. Whereas when the concentration, ekagrata man, when the mind gets concentration, then the same vritti rises and falls. So in this context, I would like to mention one important, and that is the concept of vritti and pratyaya. Pratyaya and vritti. Pratyaya is the knowledge conveyed by a vritti is called a pratyaya. And like vritti is like a bati or cup. A cup may contain milk or water or honey or anything. The same way, a vritti may give rise to the knowledge of this person or about a dog, about a tree, and all that. So, the pratyaya and the knowledge given by a vritti is called pratyaya. So, Shankara's definition of ekagrata is sajatiya vritti pravaha. Sajatiya vritti mane vritti, the same vritti rises and falls. Pravaha, why pravaha? Sajatiya, not one vritti. Vritti continuously like a pravaha. there is a flow of vrittis. So that is why the mind never remains quiet. Suppose you see in the film Swamiji's Swami Vivekananda film. So there they once our Bimal Roy, the famous film director, was engaged by Government of India on Swamiji's centenary in 1963. Bimal Roy was engaged by the Government of India. So Bimal Roy brought out a a film that is documentary, a documentary on Swamiji. Bimal Roy brought out. So there, Chicago, Swamiji, what is known as the Chicago pose. Swamiji stands with his turban and big coat and his arms folded. That is a famous picture of Swamiji. Now, suppose you see the film. The film appears to be stationary. But actually, if you look at the projector, you can see the film running. I think, I don't remember now exactly, some 38 or 18 or something like that. Film strips per second must move or to show something as stationary. If you want to see Swamiji's picture as stationary, some 18 or 20 strips of film, same film, must move. That is what is called animation. Animation, Walt Disney's, some of the pictures, Mickey Mouse and all that. So they are not able to do continuous exactly the same. That's why these animated pictures full of jerks. Anyway, so Shankaracharya's definition of dhyana is sajatiya vritti pravaha. Vritti, the same vritti, flow of the same vritti. That is what Shankara says. Patanjali, instead of vritti, the word pratyaya. He says, tadeva tatra pratyaya ekatanata dhyanam. Tatra pratyaya ekatanata dhyanam. Tatra means there. That is where dharana has been practiced. Dharana is a deshe chittasya bandha. The mind, tying the mind or centering the mind at different parts of the body, that is dharana. And there, pratyaya ekatanata. Ekatanata in Bangla, ektane, one at one stretch, one stretch, pratyaya, same pratyaya, that is just like Swamiji's Chicago pose. The same pratyaya appears. That is called dhyana. Pratyaya ekatanata dhyanam. And so that is dhyana. Dhyana is the maintenance of the same vritti, same pratyaya. Maintenance of the vritti or pratyaya. The same vritti rises and falls. So the pratyaya does not appear to change, but actually pratyaya also changes. Say for instance, in Swamiji's Chicago pose, if you see the film, Swamiji appears to be stationary, Chicago pose, but actually the films are moving. You don't see them. That's all. But actually, the same thing, almost exactly same way. Dhyana, when you sit for meditation, this is many people think meditation means making the mind still. The mind cannot be made still. There should be flow. But the difference is in dhyana, the same pratyaya continues. Same vritti rises and falls. In distracted mind, different vrittis rise and fall. That is all the difference. But in both, there is the flow of vrittis. So this is dhyana. So dharana, then dhyana. Then the next is samadhi. What is samadhi? So here, between dhyana and the samadhi, Patanjali, I told you, Patanjali's sutras, there are several gaps. So here, there is one big gap. Patanjali should have created another sutra after dhyana. Dhyana says pratyekatanata, but one important point Patanjali has forgotten or omitted to mention, and that is in dhyana there will be three things: dhyata, dheya, and dhyana kriya. The meditator, the object of meditation, and meditation kriya, the act of meditation. This is, in Vedantic terms, this is known as Triputi. Triputi. In Vedanta, they are known as Jnata, Jnata, Jnaya, Jnanam. Or in Veda, in Yoga, known as Dhyata, Dheya, and Dhyanam. So this should have been there. In Dhyana, Patanjali should have created one sutra which says in Dhyana, not only not Ekatanata, but in Dhyana there are Triputi will be there. Dhyana is a conscious, fully conscious state. Whereas in Dhyana, in Samadhi definition Patanjali gives Tadeva Sarupa Shunyamiva Tadeva Sarupa Shunyamiva Arthamata Nirbhasam Samadhi Tadeva Sarupa Shunyam Iva Arthamatra Nirbhasam. Nirbhasam. It is Klibalinga or Napamsalinga. Arthamatra Nirbhasam. Why? Because he is dealing with Dhyana. Dhyana is Napamsalinga, Klibalinga. So Tadeva, that Dhyana itself, Sarupa Shunyam Eva, as if it loses its Dhyana Kriya. I am meditating. Vijnana Bhikshu in his Tika on Vyasa Bhashya, he says, Tadeva Sarupa Shunyamiva means when the meditator, suddenly he feels after meditating for a long time, then he realizes that meditation has become, that image has become spontaneous. Till in dhyana, you have to hold on to the image. Suppose you are meditating on the photo of Thakur, then you have to hold on to the picture by force, by willpower. Whereas that holding on, that exercise of will becomes spontaneous, natural, unnecessary. the holding the arthamatra nirbhasam. The artha means the object of meditation. Tadeva sarupa shunyam iva. If Jnana Bhikshu says, he forgets that I am meditating, that feeling goes away. And arthamatra nirbhasam, the artha, the picture of Thakur. Suppose you are meditating on picture of Sri Ram Krishna, then the picture alone remains stationary before us without any effort. The picture comes effortlessly. So this effortlessness, this is what is called this Samadhi. Tadeva Sarupa Shunyamiva Arthamatra Nirbhasam. Nirbhasam, it is an important word. Nirbhasam means shines. Where does it shine? This Vijnana Bhikshu raises this question. He asks, where does this Nirbhasam, the object, Thakur, suppose you are meditating on the picture of Thakur. So where does this picture appear shining? It is shining, Nirbhasam. So he gives the answer in the Pratyega Atman itself. That is, in Patanjali Yoga, Atman is known as Purusha. So Pratyak Chaitanya or Purusha, in the light of Purusha, this picture of image you are meditating upon shines. So the difference between Dhyana and Samadhi is, in Dhyana there will be three things: Dhyata, Dheya and Dhyana Kriya. So that is important. If you sleep, when you go to sleep, sometimes in meditation people feel drowsy, and then you will find one or two missing. Especially I am meditating, that feeling will go. So to be true meditation, these three should be there. Meditation is a fully conscious process in which these three must be there. Then only it is meditation. It is called meditation. But if the first two are not there, that I am meditating, so Sarupa Shunyam Iva, I am meditating, that feeling goes. And the Arthamatra Nirbhasam, the Artha alone shines. That is Nirbhasam, that is called Samadhi. So this Samadhi, in Samadhi, the object alone shines. I am meditating, that goes. Why? Because the Pratyagatman has awakened. The Purusha has awakened in such a person, in a yogi, when he meditates. The Pratyagatman, we generally, when we meditate on Sri Ramakrishna, we expect Sri Ramakrishna to appear suddenly before us. We look at the object world, but I and Thakur, we are a connecting link, Dhyana Kriya. So we expect Sri Ramakrishna to appear before us. Thakur will not appear before us so easily. The Chandra Upanishad says, Devo Bhutva Devanapi Yeti. In order to attain Deva, in order to have the vision of God, you yourself must attain Devatva. Devo Bhutva Devanapi Yeti. This is repeated 8 times in the Chandogya Upanishad. So, similarly here also, if you want to realize Sri Ramakrishna is a God. So you must attain Godhood yourself. That's why my Gurudev, respected, that I offer a pronouns to my Gurudev Swami Atisharanandani. He used to say, first comes self-realization, then comes God realization. First, you must realize your own self. So that is what happens in Samadhi. First, the Atman that shines. In that light, only the object alone shines. So this kind of Samadhi, in which the Dhyana is actually a continuation of Dhyana. Suppose you are meditating on Sri Ramakrishna's picture or photo. So now in Samadhi, in Dhyana, you are meditating on that photo. And then Samadhi is, that photo becomes vivid, luminous, as if living, Arthamatra Nirbhasam, that shines, as if the picture shines. So this kind of Samadhi, in which is a kind of continuation of Dhyana, this is Vijnana Bhikshu calls it Anga Samadhi or Samadhi Matram. Anga Samadhi, Angi. Samadhi is Angi, Samadhi is Samprajnata. Samprajnata Samadhi. So there, this Ashtanga Yoga Samadhi, this is Ashtanga Yoga Samadhi. It is called either Ashtanga Yoga Samadhi or simply Samadhi Matram. Vijnana Bhikshu calls it Samadhi Matram. Just Samadhi. This is not our goal. In what is the use of simply seeing Thakur's picture, photo, vividly in a clear way? Samadhi, actual Samadhi, what Vijnana Bhikshu says, something other than what is meditated upon, something new will come. You will get new knowledge. Then only Samadhi will be of any use. Swamiji says, a person goes into Samadhi, he comes out of it wise man. A fool who goes to Nidra, sleep, will come out as a fool. This is the same thing. So in the Samadhi, when you go into Samadhi, you get new knowledge. That is real Samadhi. That is called Samprajnata Samadhi. So Samadhi, there are in the Samprajnata Samadhi, there are 4 stages: Vitarka, Vichara, Ananda, Asmita. There are 4 stages in Samprajnata Samadhi. My time is over. It is over, it's in 1 hour. Then I will just conclude by mentioning one more, what is true Samadhi. This Samadhi is Samadhi Matram. What is true Samadhi? For that, a child, how we have all grown by that process. How we learn words. how we learn words. Suppose a child doesn't know any word, Baba, Dada, Tapre, Berdal, Guru, nothing he knows. Simply look, suppose a crow is there, cock, or a cuckoo. It looks at the dog. Then what happens? The child looks at the dog. Some kind of knowledge comes. Artha. This is called jnana. Some knowledge. In English, this is known as referent. That which is referred to. Referent, and this one is known as the meaning. Knowledge or meaning. This. And then the mother will utter. Suppose a cow, the cuckoo, the child sees cuckoo. The child, not only child, a cow also sees the cuckoo. The crow also sees so many objects. They all see the same cow, crow, same dog. But the mother here, she utters Shabda. She says the cuckoo, dog. She utters the word dog. So the child associates the Shabda with, not with this, with the outside object, but with the impression, the jnana of the artha object the child already has got. So the Shabda the child associates with this. So this is, there is actually no connection at all. This Shabda, so this was an important discovery made in India long ago, and in the West it was discovered only at the beginning of the 19th century by Saussure, a Swiss linguist by name Saussure. And Saussure was a Sanskrit teacher. So he got the idea from Samskrita. So in Sanskrit, in Patanjali, in Bhartrhari, the words refer, now the mantra, the different why we utter the words, so many words we utter. These words refer not to the external objects. For instance, Ram Chatterjee. Do you know Ram Chatterjee? So suppose you know Ram Chatterjee. The Ram word Ram Chatterjee refers not to the person outside, but to the impression of Ram Chatterjee you have got. Suppose he is your friend, he has helped you, he is quite loving and kind to you. So then, as soon as the Ram Chatterjee's memory comes, your mind will be filled with happiness. But suppose he had criticized us and he is a badmash, then as soon as the Ram Chatterjee comes to the mind, we will feel angry. Anger only will come. So the Shabda Ram Chatterjee has no connection with the outside Ram Chatterjee. Ram Chatterjee remains unknown as it is. So whereas in the mantra, so this knowledge is called meaning. What we call meaning. Meaning always refers to the knowledge of the object in our mind. So the cuckoo, when the mother utters the word kukur. The word kukur refers not to the external kukur, but the knowledge of the kukur we have got in our mind. So this is the meaning of the term kukur. So kukur word refers not to the external kukur, but to the internal. Now, Namah Shivaya, Shiva mantra you repeat. So Namah Shivaya, that word Namah Shiva means salutations to Shiv Thakur ke pranam janayi. So that refers to this, not to actual Shiva. Actual Shiva is in Kailasa, and then that's why we go on repeating. If had it been on this mantra Namah Shivaya, if referred to actual Shiva, one repetition would have been enough. People would have understood. That's why the Yama tells the Kathopanishad, Ananya Prokte Gatiratra Nasti. I have realized Advaita. So when I talk to you about Advaita, you will understand. If I have not realized Advaita, if I tell about Advaita, you will not understand. Ananya Prokte. I have realized Ananya. I am not different from Brahman. So Gatiratra Nasti. You have no other way. You will the Advaita knowledge will within me will come to you. One utterance enough. You have to repeat the mantra, repeat and the mantra has got a new power that's called Vachaka Shakti. Vachya Shakti and Vachaka Shakti. Ordinary words, Vachya Shakti, they give rise to the knowledge, this one, the jnana, not to the, they don't refer to the artha. Anyway, so now Patanjali's mantra, we saw the arthamatra nirbhasa. So that is the artha. Suppose you are meditating on Thakur, the Thakur's image alone will appear before us. Arthamatra nirbhasam, that is Samadhi. That is the definition. Now, this definition of Samadhi, this Samadhi is only Samadhi Matram. It is not the real Samadhi which we can, which is called Sampragnata Samadhi. This is only just Samadhi, Samadhi Matram. Anga Samadhi. It is a part of Sampragnata, not the real Samadhi. The real Samadhi is another definition Patanjali gives. Smriti Parishuddhau Swarupa Shunyamiva Arthamatra Nirbhasa Nirvitarka. Nirbhasa, because here he is using the word Samapatti. Samapatti is a Buddhist term. Samapatti also means Samadhi. But Samadhi refers to the continuation of the Dhyana. So, Sarupam Arthamatra Nirbhasam. But here it is the Sarupa Shunyamiva Arthama Parishuddhav. Smriti Parishuddhav means now. So that is why it is called Samadhi Matram. It is not Samadhi, real Samadhi. Why? Because In the real Samadhi, you get super sensuous knowledge, higher knowledge. In ordinary Samadhi, in the Samadhi Matram, no new knowledge. That is why the knowledge we have got, suppose about Sri Ramakrishna, what is the knowledge that we have got about Sri Ramakrishna? We have got it from the book Kathamrita. College Japan Body Token, or somebody wrote to me an extract from Kathamrita. The body the Thakur Chabi Chilo. Yes, that was, there was a picture at home. So I knew the name Sri Ramakrishna, but nothing I knew about Sri Ramakrishna. So the knowledge of Sri Ramakrishna which I had was only book knowledge. All of us now we have got knowledge of, we know, we give lectures. Our Bharat Sangha boys, if you ask them, they will give a big lecture on Sri Ramakrishna, on Vedanta, anything. These are only words. These are only words. So, Shabda Sanketa, this knowledge we have got now about America. I have not gone to America. I don't know what is New York, how New York is like. But I know so much about New York. Why? Because I have read books or articles. So because I have read so much about New York, I can tell about New York. So that is only book knowledge. So this book knowledge is of no use. Patanjali says there is a higher type of knowledge, which is direct knowledge, direct mystic knowledge, direct contact with the reality. That is what Thakur said, that Brahman, who सब उच्चिष्ट हो गए थे, Brahman alone उच्चिष्ट हुआ ही नहीं, कारण everything else has been uttered by words, by the tongue. So tongue utters the words. So our knowledge of the world, so physics, chemistry, and all that we can get through words. But Brahman, you can't get knowledge of Brahman through words. So that Akhandakara, then this Mahavakya Sravana, Mahavakya will produce only Akhandakara Vritti. So when that Vritti rises, then we get the knowledge Aham Brahmasmi. Then the Vritti will disappear. Then we can't know. The Brahmajnani does not know that he knows Brahman. This is a paradox in Advaita Vedanta. This is what Kashmir Shaivism wants to avoid in Tantra also. In Tantra, in Kashmir Shaivism, he not only is Brahmajnana, he is Brahmajnani, but he knows that he knows Brahman. So anyway, so that is real Samadhi. So that Smriti Parishuddha. Smriti mane Shabda Sanketa Smriti Parishuddha. That is how Vyasa has interpreted it. Smriti Parishuddha, Baki same as the Samadhi definition already. Swarupa Shunyamiva Arthamatra Nirbhasam Samadhi. So here also the same definition Patanjali brings with an additional phrase. That is Smriti Parishuddha. Shabda Sanketa Smriti Parishuddha. When the mind, our mind is full of so many, Swamiji says, I want to take a medicine to forget all that I have learned. That is true. All the memory from kindergarten to PhD, all the knowledge we have got, only verbal knowledge. Words. Shabda Jalam, Maharanyam. Once you get into that, you can't get out. So that is the knowledge you have gained. That is external knowledge. Atma Jnana, self-knowledge, goes direct to Atman. So Smriti Parishuddha. The Smriti, the memory should be cleared of all Shabda Sanketa Smriti Parishuddha. So this is the difference between Dhyana and Samadhi. Dhāraṇā Dhyāna Samadhi. Dharana is fixing the mind on certain points, chakras. Dhyana is same vritti, maintenance of the same vritti or maintenance of the same pratyaya. So pratyaya and different vritti difference we should know. And then comes samadhi. Samadhi is same pratyaya, but the vritti, the object alone shines. It has become natural because ardhamatra narbhasam, that shines because a new light has arisen in the heart. Thakur says, Kathamrita Kundalini, when it reaches the heart, he sees a light and he shouts, a key. What is this? What is this? So a new light comes. In that light, the object shines. So that is samadhi matram. But actual samadhi is, Patanjali calls it samapatti, not samadhi. Samapatti, that is a Buddhist term. In samapatti, smriti parishuddha, swarupa shunyamiva arthamatra nirbhasa nirvitarka. So this is the difference between that, what is that? Dhāraṇā Dhyāna and Samadhi. Today our topic was it's a discussion on Dhāraṇā Dhyāna Samadhi, the differences. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnama Daya Purnamevava Shishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Pranamastu.